Yeah.
All right, I'm going to stand back a little further because I got stuff. At the beginning of March, I was first introduced to an amazing woman, grandmother, named Tammy Morrison, when she did a live video about sexual books in the children's section of our libraries. Specifically, Sex is a Funny Word, which I'm going to show you more of in a few minutes, and another book, Let's Talk About It, that's for teens. Within a couple days, I connected with Tammy through another friend to assist with bringing library form 1043 to the Moncton Freedom Group for signatures. On the form, we were requesting to have these two books moved to the adult section of the library, not removed. As much as we wanted them removed, we were asking for them to be moved to the adult section so the parents could first see the books, read them, decide if they were appropriate for their kids and at what age. The Miramichi Library staff thought that was very reasonable when Tammy and her husband Richard brought in their concern and the forms. On April 27th, we received the response. The response from the Library Association is that they're acknowledging they received our request of March 7th regarding Sex is a Funny Word by Corey Silverberg and the other book, Let's Talk About It. But they are going to remain where they are available now because they deem them to be appropriate. They provide, in their words, accurate, inclusive, age-appropriate information about body image, anatomy, sexual identity, sexuality, sex education, and relationships. Sex is a Funny Word is a book written, and the author says it's for 8 to 10-year-olds, which most of us feel is grossly young. It's not appropriate for 8 to 10-year-olds. But in our libraries, it's in the young early reader section, which is 6-year-old and up, and it is on the lowest section of the library, according to the library personnel that assisted me in Salisbury. And when I told her about the book, and she went and looked it up, she said, "Oh my goodness, you're right. It should be on this level where no child could read it." The small town local libraries agree that that's filth and should not be given to young children to read on their own. But our municipal library board believe it's just fine. Thank you very much. So I'm just going to take a second and show you a few pages. You probably can't see it from here. And if you want to look afterwards, feel free to come get it from me to look. You just can't take it and burn it because I don't want to pay for it and then give Corey Silverberg more money by ordering another one. This book is full of pictures of breasts and nipples because all 5 and 6-year-olds need to see that, right? And then it specifically mentions that some adults can do an amazing thing with their breast. They can create milk to feed children. Not mothers to feed their babies, adults to feed children. This is an attack on the family. Then we have a picture of multiple bums, and it doesn't need much description. And we have a picture of multiple vaginas from little children and women, in very graphically pictured. And the same thing with the penises from children and adults. I have said that word more in the last 2 months than in the rest of my life combined. It also talks about babies being born and the doctors deciding if they're male or female, but it's not really the full story. That doesn't really mean that's what they are. It talks about masturbation and advises it, and to talk about it with your parents. It also talks about secret touching, which fortunately it does advise is wrong, but it says if someone has done secret touching and you're uncomfortable with it, to find someone you can trust to tell about it. There is no mention of talking to your parents or your grandparents or someone else in your family. Again, this is an attack on the family. There's no other way to look at it. That book is back on, so we're back on our library shelves for 6-year-olds to pick up while they're browsing looking for Winnie the Pooh or Dr. Seuss. That is a crime against our children. The author, Corey Silverberg, I did a little digging too on him. Actually, a friend shared me some information. He's written 4 books. All 4 are sex books. 3 of his sex books are targeting little children, because he feels it's very important that they be informed. He also he's a founder of a sex toy store in Toronto, and he also does private sessions with parents of children from 7 to 12, which gives me the heebie-jeebies like you can't imagine. This man is clearly very sick and twisted, and yet he's lauded as a award-winning author, so the government deems him to be an acceptable author to have those books in our libraries. We need to stand up. We cannot trust them. The book Let's Talk About It, that's for teens, is in the young adult section. It's absolutely pornographic. I wouldn't bring the book here and show you. You'll have to go check it out yourself. Those are only 2 examples. There are hordes of them. I went and got a library card in Salisbury a few weeks ago just so I could check out books like that to see what's out there and what's going on. And the number of books is unbelievable, and almost all of them refer to LGBTQIA. I am not now, nor have I ever been, against LGB or T. Live your life. It has nothing to do with me. The problem with myself, and I think everybody here, is stay away from the children. And so many other people, stay away from the children. Stop indoctrinating the children. So, within just a couple days of us filling out the forms for the libraries, we then found out there was a drag story time happening at the city library over here, so a few of us quickly got together a protest for that. And then within another couple of weeks, there was drag story time at some Moncton schools. Then we were hearing about other events throughout the province. And so by this point, Tammy, my other friend, myself, and some other concerned ladies and gents had gotten together a group called Mama and Papa Bears. And so we are working diligently to try to get out information about this and do petitions or forms or whatever. So if you have ideas, feel free to share. So I have the petition with me. I'm sending it in the pages that I have into Bill Hogan's office tomorrow. If you haven't yet signed, please come and see me before you leave today so that we can do that. What the petition says is, put an end to robbing children of their innocence. Stop drag story time. As parents, grandparents, teachers, and caregivers, we need to stop and think about the weight of adult ideas and decisions we are placing on our little children in today's society. Ideas and decisions that they do not yet have the skills or experience to properly handle or understand. Our children are seeing drag performers on TV, in local libraries, and now in many schools, pushed as wonderful and normal. Also, the number of books that are targeting an audience of 3 to 8 plus years of age talking about questioning gender, showing and discussing sexual activities, asking them which letter of the LGBTQIA rainbow they identify with. Children should not identify with any of those letters. Our little children today are bearing a weight of adult ideas and decisions like never before. These books are in every library, school, and bookstore, whether we're aware of them or not. So we'll eventually come across our children's path unless we are no matter how vigilant we are, unless we're with them always. Or we can join the number of people working together to take this written material out of children's hands, putting it into the parents' hands. So parents can decide which reading material is right for their child, adolescent, teen, and when. And stop drag story time. Please consider signing this petition today to end the war against systematic desensitization and sexualization of the children. I will say, if you know of someone that you think would have been interested in signing the petition, today's not the cutoff. Tomorrow's the day I'm mailing in what I have. But if someone brings me more paper petitions, I will happily send them off. I can email them to people, they can print them off and sign them and email them in to Bill Hogan themselves. So this is a never-ending petition until drag story time is stopped. Regarding the books that I talked about, the Form 1043, nothing says we can't continue to send in Form 1043 to the library saying get these off the shelves. We can show them that no, we're not taking your no for an answer, and we want those books off the kids' shelves. There are other books too that we should be having removed, and if enough of us can reach out to other people and stop this constant barrage of sexual information and gender identity confusion being pushed at our kids from every direction, if enough of us stand, enough of us speak, they have to listen. Right now, I know a lot of you are fully aware of